to the flag of the United States of America. And still, was just standing a lot of nations and every God in the midst of the defeat and just a pearl. Right. Have a seat. Thanks for taking the time. Huge thank you to the library for having us. Where'd the mayor go? Yeah, thanks. It was great to be in Colby. I brought with me Zach Hampton, who is from Salina, is at our BC office, and Dawson Mary, who is also from Salina, and he's our deputy district director at our magnetic office. So we're out doing town halls this week. We tried to do lunch yesterday, that didn't turn out so well, as you all can imagine, but I appreciate it. 7:30 out of cold. I'll read all taking time. They all start with this, and then I'll give you that. This is our district now. We're towards the Lakesburg. We're here at Thomas County. Our district, is in the red here. We are there's 435 congressional district. Our district is the 11th largest in the country. Of course, it starts here and now goes all the way over here. He speaks of Manhattan, Wamego, Holden, Perry, and then this is Lawrence. So our district goes all the way east to and including Lawrence. Because 435 congressional district, we would be top 3 in ag production in the country. We would be number 1 for beef production, number 1 for wheat production, number 1 for sorghum production, number 7 for corn, and I think number 11 for dairy. We're seeing a lot of growth in dairy. So that's the district. We have 61 counties. We have more hospitals in our district than is the country, and more critical access hospitals as well. So healthcare access to healthcare is something that matters a lot to me and to the district. Of course, I grew up in Cointer here and live in Solid. So a lot of things we didn't talk about. I'll give you a brief update, and then we can take this whatever direction you would like here all around. And get just a list of so Miles, I know you can't see this in the back, and that's a den point here. I'd say this big picture. When I think about our country, we're going to celebrate our 250th birthday next summer on July 4th. And I think when you look at where our country's at, I think we really have 3 big ranks, if you will. And in opening order, I think our debt, China, and we drifted from our basic family fundamental values. So on our debt, we're at $36 trillion in debt, which is a massive issue. And just some perspective, if you go rewind the clock, we're in 2025 now, we're at $36 trillion. In 2010, so 15 years ago, we were at $13 trillion. So we have added $23 trillion to the debt just in the last 15 years. And the pace at which we are spending money is not sustainable. 2024, last year, was the first year that interest on just interest alone was our largest line item in the federal budget. We spent over $1 trillion just on interest serving the federal budget's about $6.5 trillion. Now, I just think we can't keep spending money in this space and not stay flourish out some serious consequences. So that's big. I think China is a big threat to us when you look at what they're doing on the intellectual property that they're stealing, the attentions that they seem to have. That's big. And then, bigger picture, I just feel like we drifted from our basic fundamental family values, which I would argue were faith, family, hard work, personal responsibility, the things that make America America. And then, frankly, these guys are alive and well in Kansas, maybe not because in other parts of the country. So that's kind of a preface. And a lot of what I'm looking to do is just return to common sense in many ways. And everybody knows the last election, what the result of the last election, Donald Trump won in a landslide, and really ran on 3 things. There have been a lot of things, but really the 3 big issues. I think what the country's saying is, number 1, we need a security war, which is a national security issue, drug trafficking issue. It just makes common sense. So we need to secure the border. We need to reestablish our energy dominance in this country, which is, I would argue, probably the biggest thing. One of the biggest things we can do to get inflation down and costs and control it is elevation of American energy. And then thirdly, it's to shrink the government and kind of get into all of this bureaucracy that should grown way beyond, I think, where most towns, what the founding fathers intended. So, and there's a lot going on in Washington, D.C. I hope everybody in this room knows that. Lots happened last month. The country, Washington, D.C. is certainly different last month since Trump came back in office. The Kansas is different, and the whole country is different as well. So far as priorities, I would say top of the list is securing order. And there's a whole bunch of things to do there. And I don't want, I want you all to know, I mean, things. I think when we talk about border, I think oftentimes three different issues get lumped together that are actually very distinct and different, but are somewhat connected. I think we need to secure the border. I think border is an issue. I think immigration is an issue. We've got to figure out how we have a working immigration system so that people can come to the country and it can work in agriculture and other sectors. And a third issue is the workforce, which how do we get the workforce outside the border immigration? How do we get the workforce in this country means? And that's where Seth and Colby Community College and our other schools come in as well. But that's a definitive thing that very focused on. And then unleashing American energy independence, which, I continue to talk to, you talk to Keanu oil and gas producer, any energy producer. We'll talk how difficult it's been for the last few years for them to do what they do. And we've got to figure out how we loosen that. I think a lot of that is the permitting process. When you look at it takes, in our country, you can spend 5, 8, 12 years just getting a permit to build a new power plant to do some of these basic projects. We have got to figure out how to speed those things out. That's big. And then another really large thing for our district, of course, that some of them I've been focused on is how do we pass a fiscal conservative, fiscal responsible 5-year farm bill. Agriculture is so important to us. Understand that farm bills today are 81% in the farm bill is food and nutrition programs, 19% is everything else. And then everything else are things like crop insurance, conservation, the things that our district, by and large, our agriculturists care about. But the overall majority of the bill is food and nutrition. So the 5-year bill we were under expired in 2023 has been extended for a year. Once now it's extended for another year. But it's wait that time we got a 5-year farm bill done. I've been on the floor of the House now, I think 38, 39 times, urging the residents to get serious about getting a 5-year farm bill done. And lucky, so optimistic it's going to happen this year, but we're going to see. So a lot of other things we talked about as well. Legislatively, probably the biggest piece of legislation you're going to already heard about and will continue to hear about. It's called a reconciliation bill. It's a big bill that included, and it's going to be securing the border, getting the energy industry back on track, and then extending the or preventing tax hikes here at the beginning of the year. So if you have one takeaway, I just hope everybody realizes that if Congress doesn't act come January 1 of next year, everybody in this room, everyone in the district is going to get it. I just don't think now's the time to raising taxes on people. So some of it's called the Trump tax cuts, whatever you call them, but those cuts in 2018, or 2017, all of the tax provisions expire the last day of this year. So that will impact everybody's income taxes, state taxes, close to other taxes as well. So getting those tax cuts permanent, very, very important. It can run line 3 years. It's just not, there's enough time to raise the taxes on people. So happy to answer any question. Take a bit of a direction you would like. There's a lot going on. But thank you all for being here and for taking time. So anything particular, any slides for you? I could. Yeah, man. Yep. Good.
Starting to greet the about that from. But I'm Connie Davis, and thank you very much for coming out to listen to that. I'm one of your constituents from Colby for 76 years. I'm a retired teacher and studied 4 children, 10 grandchildren. My legislator father, Donald B. carried the bill for establishing Colby Community College in 1963. I taught at the college until I retired. I'm friends with Bob. I was friends with Bob Dole, and we moved trip back to Washington, D.C. to talk to our elected St. and St. Juan. As an educator, you represent me. I taught English as a second language for immigrants, and even though they cannot vote, I vote for them. You represent their issues through me for their contribution to economic value to Northwest Kansas, the agriculture, industry, and their children in our rural school. I am watching the fears that immigrants face every day with ICE in our community, ready to deport the estimated half of our friends and workers. As a Christian, I am now watching our believers go through fear of deportation. We represent our special ed, that is students in our school, and my grandchildren through special ed. But the Department of Education is now jumping off. You and I are alumni of Penn State University. And I'm watching the divide of $50 million to KSU program that you represent. I am a retired woman. You represent me. I've not slept well since the elections, and I'm worried about my Medicare insurance and my Social Security. I've read Project 2025. I'm watching what the current president is doing and planning to do for those programs. I'm worried that my privacy has been breached. You represent me. As a constituent, you represent me under the Constitution as part of the we the people, whether we are rich or poor, women or men, and as you are part of the Constitution of the United States of America, we know that you are not a part of the executive branch, but instead are part of the checks and balances as part of Congress. I cannot sleep at night. Day after day, we watch the executive branch go roughshod over the congressional branch. I watch how you vote, and you are not representing me as a constituent in Kansas. In the greatly part of our world. Can you be an active representative of Congress and represent my interest in as a retired woman, an educator, a farmer, a grandmother of children with the future in a safe world, in a strong democracy? How are you represented today?
You're saying again. Connie, this, yeah, the things reading Connie, you covered a lot of things there. I'll try to break up a whole bunch of them. One of which was Medicare, Social Security. There are no cuts to Medicare, Social Security, even being discussed in a single meeting I've been in, talked about. I don't, and President Trump regular, that's off the table. I can't only speak for myself, but I can say I've not been at a meeting with any House of both from there. They didn't talk.
Has it been breached?
Has it been breached? The only conversation I've ever been where it's been talked about saying that we're not going to touch it, it's off the table. So I don't know that they declined breach. Okay. But there's that. You covered a lot of other things as well. Immigration. One guy say, we've got to get back to common sense and have work in this country. And ICE and again, orders are Townhall isn't very clear that on deportations, the focus and priority is going to be on the convicted criminals. And that's what they've been doing. I heard that no deportations of anyone in our state that was not a convicted criminal until we feel or hearing otherwise. I mean, we understand that agriculture, we agriculture in our economy, we have to have folks in this country to do jobs, and that's they've been very clear. That's where they even started. My sense is it's going to take a long time. When we're in a situation where the last administration let between 12 and 15 million people in the country legally, just deporting no criminals that up to 50 million is going to take a long time. So that's where that sits. That we see it. So, yeah. But you also have a special ed. My big thing on that, special education, is I would argue, I think special education is one of the biggest unfunded mandates in the history of the country. Meaning, the federal government stepped in years ago, as you know, and it requires all these mandates on the states, and yet the federal government, don't tell me the exact number, but has only met maybe 21% of what they obligated themselves to do when they set the mandate in the first place. So I've been advocating for either government needs to meet the mandate or they need to release the mandate and let the states figure out what they want to do. I just feel strong fundamentally that, the school board here in this community is much more equipped to decide what needs to happen with special ed and with your school than folks in Washington, D.C. So I've been kind of a main advocate saying, these state led mandates don't need to be funded, or they need to go away. With this current unfunded mandates, there's no to it. So, yeah, but appreciate you being here, Connie. And good. Others, yeah. Well, Harry, I appreciate being here. I'm a big fan of where we're headed. And Walter's Bell, right? I'm a big fan of this Dodge deal, trying to clean up all of these to the government. I tell people I've been 30 years ahead of Trump cleaning up the liars, thugs, and thieves that have been in politics. So, we need to crack down on this stuff. Now, I've been to your office, and I'm coming back here next week. Say we're going to do another law, and I would listen where you're telling. Yeah, we did that. So I was through there with cattle industry. I got three big things for you. One's cattle industry. One's the tariffs that are going on. Big concerns about tariffs. People understand value out of taxes and what goes on, but I'll get into that a little bit. And the third one is the water issue. This is probably been the beef industry right now. We need to get on board with Harry Hageman out Wyoming. When I come back there in April and May, get ready to propose a new bill for country ward to Lakeland. We need that. The Brazilian mafia, basically, the JBS and Margaret people that are in the meatpacking industry right now are flooding us with imports. A tariff of 26 or 9% is what they pay when they exceed the tariff-free quota. For those that don't understand that, you can have a tariff, but if you want to have a quota, they go ahead and flood them with their imports, and we get buried in the cattle market. We got high prices right now. It's being affected. They're capturing a lot of the money right now because they're helping bring their beef from Brazil to the United States border for $1.29 a pound. And as I tell people in some of my presentations, we've got 34 million mother cows in the United States. You know how many Brazil has? 155 million head of cow. They expect to grow their cow herd by 27 million head by 2030. Where do you think they'll come? This is the best market in the world. So with the tariffs, and we got some of the biggest dairy fighters right here, you know what Canada's, we talked about in cool for country words lately, but Canada taxes dairy like milk products, cheese, butter, all that, 200, 300%. They don't want imports from the U.S. into Canada. And those guys can't do that. They can't ship up there and do that. So it's unfair trade rules, and then we get that hammered on us with cool. Well, and I've told you before, the WTO ruling that they all fell under, and Senator Marsh is terrible. If he keeps pulling that lie out on me, Trump just settled that 12-19. The WTO panel is no longer in existence, taking trade disputes against the United States. If we get the American beef labeling bill passed, they'd have to refile the new case if they want to challenge it again. Probably won't have them. But those are a big deal. And so with that, cool, my big concern, and one of the deals I want you to step forward on, and you tell the KLA and the R Bureau people and everybody to take the hike, is the audit, the reform on the beef checkoff. That is the biggest laundering of money scheme in this country. And I think Doge, the Department of Ag, is getting ready to go into that deal, and they're going to find out. NCBA has already been guilty of misuse of funds. And I think, that's clear evidence. I see some of the expenditure vouchers that they get. I mean, they spend, $9 billion to study people prefer eating beef and stuff like that. Tracey, it's so crooked. Just open your eyes, do what we're doing right now with those. Let's go look at it, see where the crux is at. We need to get them stopped. Shut the money up. I'm tired of paying the tax. I didn't stop paying self-employment tax. And, we pay a lot of tax. And I'm sick of it. So let's clean it up. Keep the money here locally. I think, you're on the right track. Let's do local control. If we got poverty issues or something in our county, we take care of it. Not a big deal. We don't need federal government doling out money like it's free and printing tax. That's what is it? It's our money. Yeah. Okay, about things. And then the water deal, we got a big issue in the water. Your man served over Iraq committee with me. Yeah. We got a big deal in Northwest Kansas, and I think it's going to come to life and fruition people are going to get their eyes open here eventually because there's still going to run out of fun. And farmers are trying to take care of it. But when you pay $5,000-$6,000 an acre for land, you got to produce in order to pay bills. You're not inheriting the money. So inheritance, as I tell people, I didn't inherit and inherit or see for, I built businesses. So there's a whole little world how you look at it. But that water deal is going to get cut. And I think we need to be aware of that. My family homestead out here in the 1890s, we're still operating.
Yep.
So appreciate you, Mike. You're playing. We shared a lot of things. Yeah, I think we don't want to go, but I would appreciate the relationship to land. Hey, on the water deal, huge issue for a state. My big thing is it needs to be local and state and not federal. Maybe the last thing we wanted in Washington, D.C. coming in and telling our irrigators or our ag producers how we ought to manage the water down, be local and state. And so that's my big vision. As I look at water, lots happen with the state legislature. In regards to water, what we ought to do, what that budget looks like, I would encourage everyone to be engaged and have more conversation. So, yeah.
I got a question. Elon's getting ready to look at everybody's tax returns for several years. How do you feel about having your tax return looked at?
I'm not concerned about it today. I don't tax it. People, I mean, it's supposed to say this. People are worked up about Doge and what they're doing. They're finding things that Congress has been requesting, asking for, and frankly has been hidden from us for years and years and years. And I think it brings things to the light. And so that everyone understands where money's going. I mean, you look at really some of these things we're spending money like indefensible anyway, period. In addition to we're $36 trillion in debt. But we got to get this thing out of control.
They got rid of Food for Peace. Food for Peace was a very good program that was started by people in Kansas and signed into law by Eisenhower. It seems to me that they are doing things that Congress should be doing. So if they can do that, why is Tracey Mann in Congress? Is he important? Does he even matter anymore?
They can't do anything that Congress doesn't authorize.
But the owner, did you authorize getting rid of Food for Peace?
No, I did.
Okay, so
I think there's legislation.
I know we're gonna. I appreciate that. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna try to get that legislation. With Senator Moran. I don't know what Marshall's doing, but he doesn't seem to care about anything. It has to do with Kansas, with his house in Florida and stuff like that. So, what does he care? But I do appreciate you going after the trying to save the Food for Peace, but why are you doing it after the fact? I mean, why is Elon able to control the finances of our country and just get rid of whole agencies like Food for Peace? That just doesn't make any sense. That's your job.
I understand. You let me finish. You let me.
I will now.
Okay, so y'all know Food for Peace, y'all like that. I mean, actually, the program I care a lot about started at St. Francis. So there's a farmer in 1952 named Peter O'Brien who stood up at a Cheyenne County Farm Bureau meeting and said, "I want to get some of my wheat upper crop to some mouths around the world that, are going to starve otherwise." That caught fire at Kansas Farm Bureau, National Farm Bureau. A few years later, I signed into law. So that's Food for Peace. The notion that we would take hand-grown commodities, send it to mouths that otherwise are going to eat. Wasn't housed at USDA for a long, long time. Kennedy created USAID via executive order. So I understand that the USAID was created by executive order in the first place. But the history was, and then at some point, Food for Peace got added to USAID. Over the years, Food for Peace, which is a program that warrants our support, meaning we are sending bags of food. Kansas wheat's the number one thing. Wheat's the number one commodity used as we come in a big bag, has a United States flag on the front of it. It shows on the front of the bag a picture of two people shaking hands, and in the language of the script it said, "A free gift to the American people." So tremendous soft diplomacy. Over the years, though, the problem is USAID, it started off being 100% food, and then it turned into they were sending some food, some money, and the tables totally turned to where the overwhelming majority of the money for Food for Peace was just being wire transferred to these countries, and we weren't actually sending U.S. grown commodity. So I led legislation called the American Farm Refuse World Act that would flip that script. And if we're going to do this, let's send Kansas grown commodities. This is good for the farmer, good for the shipper, good for the mouths that got to receive it. So that I introduced legislation that last week before that would move food for peace from USAID to the USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture, which is where it ought to be. I'm optimistic that's what's going to happen. That food for peace is going to continue, and it's got to be at USDA. USDA, Department of Agriculture, they already administer the government dole program. They are well equipped, and they're the ones that ought to be handling this program. And so that's where I like to have it.
So why doesn't Trump just go ahead and do that?
How long will that take?
What's that?
How long will that take? Understand that?
We're not sure, but Trump, if maybe Trump does it, maybe he doesn't. But I want to see Colby in the loss.
So why are you in Congress? Why aren't you doing your job?
What are we not doing?
You're not handling it. You're not responsible. You are supposed to be responsible for the people's purse. And yet they have taken control over it. Is there anything that Trump and Eli could do that you would not support?
I'm sure.
Oh, tell me. Tell
What about Trump?
me what you would not
What
support.
Sapolsky's doing is they're going through the government in a way that's never done before, looking at all of the improper.
But is there anything that they would do that you would not support?
Sure, well, let's see what
Tell me.
like they give the President Trump.
But what about the Ukraine? You were for the war in Ukraine, but now are you switching gears? You gonna let Russia? What would you think Reagan would think of that?
We got to see what happened with Russia and Ukraine. There's a big summit yesterday. They're far from peace. Then my take on Russia, Ukraine, you'll maybe agree or disagree, but we've got to figure out how to get to peace over there. Because the thing about us continuing to fund this war, tens of thousands of people continuing to die, doesn't seem like strategy around here with them. Other comments? Think they're right, but I'll go get this.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, Mark.
For much easier to do sit in the office in D.C. if I have to explore yourself there.
That is true. By the way, touring Hammond.
Last time you were out here, Pacific Manager, we discussed about the community grants. Rural America, from primarily a white community, primarily operating off of cash basis, and I very well identified part of the stricken. This doesn't seem to be eligible for a lot of those permanent grants. You combine that with the fact of Southwest Power Pool is just a water growing picture. They're going to produce not only by their energy to solar communities, they're going to have its reserve capacity right now at 115%. There's talk about that going up. So not only getting it purchase healing needs, but then you're going to have the power pictures where you're going to have peaks with capacity, and those numbers keep going up. And as those costs rise, I'm not eligible for these permanent grants. There's so much on renewable in this. The way transmission lines and the transformers that are aging and daily, we're trying to fund those as well as the new engine for our power plant. Just the whole umbrella, the whole career being moved in this country. It's not stick. I'm glad that we're not necessarily focused on a certain population of EV vehicles like 435 because of the window price. If we dial that back a little bit and take care of our infrastructure and build that transmission up. So, again, I would wish somebody that becomes seems ridiculous, like our school where they're getting type of grant fund for resilience. Then we storms like what we've had the past up there, maybe in snow. Thankfully, we haven't had any outages, but we're to do one next week that puts us down. So, probably need to push some grants for all that.
Okay. And we have here now at base load in this country as well, which goes back to some of this pro-bit. We call identifying questions. Yeah, like our loan brands,
infrastructure level that what I've been chasing the last couple of years and pushing for is that resiliency of our grid. So these transformers that are getting data,
the equipment.
that data what we have, or not that specific looking to build new or extend services. This is a reflection on what we have. Pushing
That's some basic equipment and then
so
the community college.
Representative Mann, you were, I believe, your co-sponsor and WO here for Title IV funding on financially that would reduce essentially what people consider the asset. So people that have farmed, can you update us on that? Because you're really looking at people that have the liquid assets, cash assets to make that, but you're trying to repeal that back. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so the history on this is the last administration changed up student name works where you start counting assets, net worth, if you will, when you apply for financial aid. Doesn't work for agriculture because agriculture, we know, is a capital intensive, low margin business. So a whole bunch of our young people that grow up on farms can't get financial aid because of that change that Biden administration made. So we have been, in the House I've been leading, Joe Mayorkas has been doing on the Senate side legislation that would fix that and would not count assets, specifically farm assets, for young people that are applying for student aid or higher education. We have a whole, so we reintroduced that, 3 weeks ago. I think we had 80 or 90 co-sponsors, Republican, Democrat, House, Senate, optimistic that's going to get lived. The chair was of both of the committees of jurisdiction support it. So we're full court press.
Guess it looked like that very strong bipartisan support. Now that it put them forward.
That's it. And there's really things that penalizes our district disproportionately. Well, but in with agriculture, it's disproportionately penalized by this rule is really we're trying to get fixed. So, everything's the dairy, gold, yeah. I'll just say we made it do okay. I guess one question I would have would be around some of the climate small commodity programs. I was thinking Political Reduction Act, what's happening in a lot of the, say, our CS programs, meaning and communicating with some of the back east, at the sales, losing staff, at terminated ops, basically your NRCS ops is not answering phones, obviously the part of a pretty sizable climate smart commodity grant that's going to create quite a lot of infrastructure investment here in West Kansas and all that. Well, do you envision those programs being reinstated, or is that just dead? Great question. Now, in fact, I don't know what exclusive the grant was and what we can do. Yeah, I'm okay with Nels. Okay. Well, yeah, let's see. There's a lot of uncertainty. So the short answer, I don't know. Longer answer, you talked about Evan. So we met Trump appointed Brooke Ross to be the Secretary of Agriculture, got confirmed on Thursday, sworn in Thursday afternoon. She was actually here Monday. She came to Kansas and pushed up week of jobs. I appreciate it. Monday from Atlanta and Durham City, toured the feed yard, toured the dairy, and then toured the package plant, which I appreciate. So we toured Hind Plains Spun Roasted Dairy, employees and a stakeholder. So in the car, talked at length with her about the importance of labor and also at our FSA offices. And hey, we got to keep the folks that are delivering these programs in the county is incredibly important that they're the front door, that we keep those folks in place. And so her all back for me, wrote it all down. We'll see what happens, but we got to be thoughtful. Was our discussion the H2A visa programming? We haven't very much stand that program out of just seasonal workforce. It would be tremendous for the livestock. We talked there, but exact conversation about how dairies don't qualify because work feed yards, it's not just dairies. For no, that's without ever. It's seasonal, and not dairies. Yep. Yeah, but you remember one. And then that program, the Asian visa program, agriculture is impacted by the Department of Labor actually oversees it. And so my takeaway from being with her as reminders, and we continue to be talking to the Department of Labor as well, because they're actually the ones that implement and oversee that program and that they need to understand that. They bring big deal for our ag producers. Yeah, those same words, a lot of people utilize that program. And I would be for growing, expanding it, make it easier. Things that make sense to me. Yeah. This one saying works great, but it is ridiculous. That's the end. Yep. And very difficult to offer you. And that's part of why I'm here is try to figure out who we need to talk to, what we need to do to streamline it a little bit and make more affordable for how we use it. Yep. And then I've got guys that are really good that I can't even get over anymore. They're just they run into a cat and now they got a flag on their name and really can't come back anymore. Even though we tried to get them out of beef illegally, every time they're won't let them in anymore. Well, and sure, if we talk about it, I'd love it. The setting pain points are really that each group are working. The more specific that I can get, more specific information I can get that I can take up that try to get that figured out. So when those everybody's really low unemployment, stuff like everybody wants to work right now. Yep. That's what we're adding more jobs in the hospital facilities, the hotels, and the buildings, and our communities growing. And yet we have no percent, so they all capitalize on some of the programs and straight line. We're not going to grow all in one, but we don't have worth less to do with it. Yep. Yeah. And they keep in mind that, part of our concern is just the law of meter degradation. If we can't find high quality labor and keep them to where they can't get married, they put kids in the school, we're resigning ourselves and our communities to a slow, painful death. Once school closes and very strict, gone forever, it doesn't come back. How do we get families and kids here? And frankly, Toronto's one that have in all the counties that we're located in Western Kansas, sub 2% of those 20, right? Like the unemployable are being employed at this point. And we need a viable labor program that can bring long-term stable future members of our community to both youth in schools, be mounts and serve all our local grocery stores, feed our restaurants, stay in our hotels. Like there's gotta be a path for a future of Northwest Kansas. Guys, what do we got on nothing? We need to think about it, whether Washington, different problems, for understanding whatever we track. I said here, thanks for that. Yeah, let's take a look at all that too, though. It's all legally. Just what Josh deals with. My wife works for him, but they'll do it the legal path, and it makes it more complicated, and that needs to be cleaned up, and everybody agrees with that. The illegal deal and drop people in here, forget that. We're done with that. I don't support it here. Period. I hope you don't either, know it. You just got to get a program involved so they don't have to be right. Come on. That's the problem we got. And we were talking one guy, we got all of our pinpoints in check. I was talking to one of the guys who lived in Bay, well, maybe 3, maybe 5, well, maybe more. We got all the correct documents and stuff. But we can't. It is such a long process to get an employee in here. And you're right, expensive. Yep. We went and bet on a deal that the 10 days making wages, and we're paying $3 over what Dave's making was. We used to have to supplement our guys about $3 or $4 an hour to meet Dave's making. We're $3 or $4 an hour over Dave's making. So that's not even an issue.
I never follow up on that. People complain that they get immigrants in here so that they can retain them up. And I'm retired now, but at my job, we brought in 2 different people that were here on H-1B visas, and then they have to do a cost study or whatever to compare it to the market. And the first one, they raised the salary that the person they were replacing by a bunch. And then they had to pay more than what they offered. And on the second one, we had to pay them more than what we offered. So I'm not convinced that they're getting here to pay them less here.
I don't think we're after that.
Yeah.
We should be really.
Yeah. And we would read offer them good faith. So it's not, it's not about getting cheap labor.
Still, if you can't make the immigration work, they should program work now for everybody. It's going to create it. So that's right. Because for the bureaucracy is what it's ruined the age rates, or what's made very good.
On a sidebar with the health issue, like as for Parkinson's.
You were so there.
Parkinson's back last spring, and now they're talking about cutting all the federal grants and all that. Is that not going to be funded? Is it going to be funded? Parkinson's has been underfunded with $16 million compared to $50 million, $100 million with AIDS, with cancer, with every other disease, and not Parkinson's. And we know that we're diagnosing 90,000 people a year in the United States. And it's not getting less. It doesn't pick on any certain one. You may be next because I'm one of them. And I know many people in the county who have it and who have the atypical kind, which is only 20%, and the most serious type of Parkinson, where the prognosis is only 3 to 5 years, maybe a few more. My Parkinson's is typical. So that's the difference. And we have so little money coming in to help farmers with everything they've been using in chemicals that I can't tell you how many farmers have been to our conference and said they lied to us. They said glyphosate had no problem. And I don't read any of that now. A commissioner at Oakley has Parkinson's disease.
We talked to her when he came in. Yeah, I didn't want specifically to fund the what waste. I'm not
Right.
one
And it's a winter funded disease and with no cure.
delicious in the past. Yeah. Hey, thanks y'all for caring about the country. Thanks for being here. We do annual reports every year, so grab one of those if you'd like kind of a deeper dive. If you're not, if you don't get our newsletter, we try to send you. There's so much going on. We try to eliminate the one we think can and take care of most of it up. And appreciate Joe coming out with full Wednesday morning. So yeah, have a great day, everybody. Thank you. So good to you. So yeah, and again, always a point. We had nothing. Oh, sure.